On today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to take a look at a guitar. But before we get into that, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel. Click on the notification bell. Your interaction with us helps us interact with great people in the industry. In this case, we went to our friends at zZounds and said, you know what? We'd like a Danelectro.
Yeah.
I may have played one way back when, but I've never owned one. So we got the Danelectro 59M NOS Plus.
It's a lot of...
in copper.
Yeah. Same with you. They were around.
Yeah.
They like came back out when Randy Rockstar was over at Triple R Guitar. And I always looked at them, always thought, man, I'd like to have one. Never owned one. And I'm sorry. That copper's cool.
It is very cool.
I don't know if it picks it up well on the camera, but man, copper's cool. So we don't do the geeky stuff. Typically we get into what we like. Although this time I want to touch on a geeky thing.
Yeah.
Because the first time I picked this guitar up, it was startling to me. It was just the neck. How flat it was. Mm-hmm. So I'm not normally like I like this radius neck. Like I can jump from guitar to guitar and not really care about it. But on this particular guitar, I really felt the difference. And so to give you an idea, I looked up some things. Now these are all probably AI answers, so take them for what they are. And I'm sure those of you in the know can say, oh no, if you go back to like the 60s, the strat radius was this. And, right. But according to AI, a typical modern strat 9.5 radius. My McCarty up here, according to AI, most McCartys. So I don't know, maybe it falls into most McCartys. 10 radius, 10-inch radius. Les Paul's 335 Gibson guitars, typically, according to AI, don't hate, 12. PRS Silver Sky John Mayer edition, 7.25. That was like a huge, big thing when that came out. Yep. And that is probably closer to the vintage spec, right?
I think so, yeah, for his 63, 64,
it's
whatever.
Not the vintage spec, but it's closer.
Right.
Don't believe anything we say. Get on AI and look it up for yourself. PRS Silver Sky SE 8.5. So somewhere in that range between like 8.5 to 12 is what we're used to. Mm-hmm. Probably right around 9 or 10 is what I'm really most familiar with. This guitar, 14. Yeah. It's pretty flat. Mm-hmm. It's pretty flat. And that's not something I'm used to. So, I mean, it's jumped out at me. And, you know, a lot of times people in the comments, if they're interested, will ask, like, what about the neck? The shape of the neck.
I think they said it's a C. It's a maple neck with a C.
It feels like a normal kind of C, what you're used to. But even with the way the headstock is just like...
everything the headstock's almost like forward when you look at the end of it.
So everything just seems really straight and flat. Mm-hmm. C-shaped neck. As far as what I like, I really like the color. And I really like the fit and finish. I mean, it is... I feel like when you got guitars in this price range of...
$529. And this is one of the higher end ones with all the new pickups and everything.
Right. I feel like when you got guitars in that price range back in the day, the fit and finish was like they hung it on the wall and threw paint at it or something. This thing really looks, feels nice. I don't think there's a lot of other... We'll save maybe the things that tripped us up and stuff to the final thoughts.
Yeah.
Just, is there any quick I like before we jump in?
Yeah, I really do like the lipstick pickups. I've always been a fan of them. Again, never owned them, but anytime I happen to play some, I'm like, that's a really cool sound. Super jangly guitar. Very springy when you play it. I found it pretty easy to play. The middle was a pretty special place for the most part. It was really easy to play.
I like that.
Yeah.
We normally say this for final thoughts, but if the night is easy.
Right.
The night was pretty easy.
Yes.
So do you want to clean tones?
So we went through clean tones. Everything you'll hear tonight at any delay is going to be one of the Echo Tours as per usual. Anything played other than the jams was played through the Tyler. So I went from bridge to neck, played some arpeggio picking, raked through a couple chords, and here it is.
My turn to do the clean sound, same thing. Started on the neck, went to the bridge. Wasn't really sure where to go with this style of guitar. Standing a little bit on shaky ground maybe, but I figured it out.
All right, so some of you might ask, what does it sound like with drive? Reasonable question. So I went and grabbed the Greer Lightspeed. It is a transparent overdrive, so if you want to hear what the pickups and a guitar sound like, grab a transparent overdrive.
Whenever we're testing out a new guitar and we're doing the drive settings now, that was a kind of a new addition not too long ago. I keep reaching for the 55 from LPD Pedals. It's kind of a tweed style tone, and I think it kind of offsets what you have going on over there with the transparent drive. Really nice.
All right, for my next clip, I went to drop D, just the low E to D, and I grabbed. We availed ourselves of the JHS liquidation sale of the Legends of Fuzz. We happened to pick up 3. I grabbed the bender, dropped it to drop D. Not Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page is known for playing one of these, but I played something that maybe is Zeppelin-esque.
For my first pedal, I went to one of our series. We have a series on Vibe pedals, and I went to the latest edition because it came in with this round of Zounds stuff. The Deja Vibe CS MDV MK2 Mini Deja Vibe Junior, and checked it out with the guitar.
All right, if you've watched any of the episodes we've done on guitars, one thing we'd like to do is take it for a spin and do a jam. And maybe not known as a lead guitar, but we want to just see what it can do. Because we play guitar, we play multiple things. Since I already had the bender out, I really liked what I got out of it, so I kept with the bender, and I used the DLS Echo Tour. I was through the Tyler, and what did you do?
Backing you up, I grabbed the Tajima Woodstock 61, I believe, and one of the most viewed guitars on the channel because one of the first episodes, one of the earliest episodes, one of the worst episodes, and one of the ones that's been seen the most times. We're actually talking about doing a new episode on this guitar, revisiting it like 5 years later to see what we think of it now. So I grabbed that and backed him up.
All right, so coming out of that jam, we want to go back to pedals, and we have a series on chorus. And I recently got my Emperor version 2 back from JHS. They fixed some things on it, and so I wanted to try it out, and it performed beautifully, and this is what I played. For my next clip, Pat made me do it. True story. So let's just throw all the excuses out. That has a 14-inch radius on it. The action is really low and plays really great. It has late strings on it. So Pat was like, why don't you play slide on that? And I'm like, because I haven't played slide in like 5 years. And so at some point we ended up tuning it to open E, grabbed an old glass slide that I have sitting around. I wish I could tell you the name because it's really a cool glass slide. And I went for it. I'm sorry. So it's my turn to take the start of the show for a jam. Since I used the Barber Electronics pedal with the slide, I was like, well, that leaves me open to maybe try something else. Because I normally like to do that for the jam. So I grabbed the King of Tone.
and actually used both sides into the Echo Tour, into the Tyler. Pat, you backed it up on the...
I got out the PRS NF3. I used the Tyler Echo Tour, and I was through the Fender Hot Rod back there. All right, for my last clip, we also have a series on tremolo, and we have this really cool Origin Effects Revival Trem on the shelf back there. And I got it out because it kind of scratched two itches. One, it pushes a little bit, it's got a little drive under it, and it's got a tremolo that's meant to kind of sneak under the pedal like an amp would.
Bias tremolo.
Yeah, so I played this.
For my last clip, I grabbed the Rubber Chicken from Lovepedal, which just happens to be, I think I can say it, my favorite envelope filter out of all the ones we've done. Because why wouldn't you play this with an envelope filter?
Right. All right, I alluded to this a little bit earlier. This guitar is probably known more maybe for rhythm or parts or some jangliness. So the very first time I played it, I backed you up when we were doing the Heritage video, And I played rhythm on this guitar, and I really, really liked it. I was just playing with the Echo Tour through the Tyler. We're going to show you a snippet of that. If you're interested in seeing the whole jam, you can check out the Heritage video.
Same thing happened to me when we got these in. We were recording the video for the Double Agent W. Pat was taking it for a spin. I grabbed this and actually grabbed this Electro Harmonix small stone phaser and played rhythm behind him on that. And again, I really liked it. It was really cool. And we thought we'd give you just a little sample of that jam right here. That's all the clips we have for you tonight. Final thoughts. Oh, 6 pounds.
Yeah, 6 pounds. Probably the Revival Trem weighs more than this guitar. I did really like it from the moment I picked it up, quite honestly. When I played that first rhythm part that I mentioned to you. And I think this will quell the argument about tone woods. Because I'm not sure the Masonite is a tone wood.
Maybe. It could be.
It is now. Masonite. It's a really unique guitar. I think they've even evolved into a much more stable instrument than they were in the past. I really enjoyed it. I think these like upgraded pickups here were good. The middle position was pretty magical. Very playable. Again, not a shredder guitar, even though it has a flat radius. This causes you a little bit of a problem if you try to go high. You get all this access with the double cutaways, but you can't get your hand down there, especially if you have a guitar strap on, which I normally do. That'd be one negative, but a lot of upside to this guitar. We said when we first played it for those 2 rhythm tracks that we're like, we look back here all the time and go, what is it that we don't have? Because as much you can't have too much gear, we can't keep everything. But we both played this and said, man, this falls in a spot in places that we don't have back there.
Yeah.
So it definitely has a thing. I watched several other people's videos on it. They're like, it just sits really nice in a track. It's really great for playing parts. It really cuts through the mix. You'll find out on the recordings if we've listened to most of it through the room. But really easy to play. I enjoyed it. This color is super cool. There's many other super cool. Again, because it's a chambered body with basically a block down the middle. Like you said, 6.05 pounds or something like that. Just really not a lot of negatives. I think Jason's got one that he'll mention. So just access to the upper frets. And one thing that I think Jason's going to mention.
Well, yeah, I'll mention, but I mean, it's not a my negative.
Because we other people,
yeah. It is a little goofy. Pat and I think differ in this. I actually like the stack knobs. I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
You're not as big of a fan of them, from what I understand.
Not as much, but
I really like that small knob to be the volume and the big knob to be the tone.
Right.
There's actually, at the end of the jam, I went to roll it back to clean it up and maybe hit a few more notes. And I reached down and I rolled the tone back. I reached out and rolled the tone back. And it was like, well, I'm done. Because it's not what I want. And I couldn't think through it fast enough to get where I needed to be. Now, as with anything, if you played it a good bit,
sure,
you'd probably get by that pretty quick. But, I think what you were saying, like, this fills a spot that we don't have.
Right.
So would I play it enough to get by that? Or would I just pull it out when there's times where I think this would fill the spot for something we're doing?
And we'd probably use it primarily for rhythm, and you're not really going to manipulate those knobs too much for rhythm per se.
That might be true. Yeah. That might be true. I can't get over how cool that copper is. I wouldn't say it's metallic, but it's almost metallic, right?
It's got a little bit of a flake in it.
A little something. There's a little something, something. The pickups are cool. They're interesting. It feels interesting. Like, whatever the material they've wrapped around the outside, the pickguard actually has like kind of a unique feel to it.
I think it's all that Mossrite. I think this is another piece of Mossrite, and that is too, from one of the videos I watched.
So it just, like, it feels different. I don't know, whatever that means. But it does feel different. Like, you feel the different materials. It's, I don't know, light. I think that's all I got. I had fun. I'll say this. I had fun with it tonight.
One thing I failed to mention is these are like Clouson style tuners. They're not branded with anything, but we went from open E to drop D to standard and minor tuning, like tuning that you would do for any other guitar. Like the tuning stability was great.
It's pretty cool.
529.
And the serial number is almost my birthday.
Well, there you go. It's meant to be. It's made in Korea, by the way.
It's crazy. All right. So with that, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for hitting the subscribe button, clicking the notification bell, leaving a like down below. Anytime you interact with the channel, that's what helps us interact with cool people like zZounds, in this case, to get in cool gear like the Danelectro to share with you. And we appreciate that. So with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.
Thank you.